Hello, T. Welcome to your very own post-work flow. We'll start at the top of the mat in Tadasana, toes spread wide, knees soft. We'll just start with a couple of neck rolls, so gazing straight up, pulling the chin down, seeing if we can link that with the movement of the breath, inhaling to look up, exhaling to drop. Good. Next inhale, you will raise the arms. Exhale, gently dropping to the sides. The arms don't have to go straight overhead here. Keeping the forehead smooth. Next exhale, we'll open into an open arm twist. Inhaling to reach. Exhaling to the opposite side. Good. This time, cactus the arms, so bring the elbows out wide. Inhaling to reach. Good. And then you'll toggle in between those two straight arms to those cactus arms. The low belly stays lifting toward the spine. This next breath, finding a back bend here, so either dropping the elbows wide or bringing the hands to the low back. You can engage the thighs, press the hips forward, let the sternum lift lightly toward the ceiling. Good. Just a few more moments here. Easy breath. Releasing on an inhale, reaching high. And exhale, we'll just shake that out. We'll start swinging the arms side to side, keeping the feet firmly planted. Bringing a little bit of the warmth into the hips. Good. And then as you continue, you can start to lift on that one heel as you turn. Bringing the twist a little bit deeper into the hips and legs. Shoulders relaxed. Jaw unwinding. Good. We'll take these little, I'm going to call them swimmers. You'll take one hand to the opposite hip and then reach that opposite arm over the body. Good. We're warming into the long muscles that attach to the back sides of the pelvis here. A few more to each side. Inhaling to reach, exhaling to release. Good. Hands come to the shoulders. We'll just take a nice swivel back and forth, bringing that warm up into the upper spine. Good. Sides of the neck, stay relaxed as the elbows lift from the floor. Inhale, let's reach high. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Good. A few more times just like that. Beautiful. Take a few breaths to warm the ankles here, taking some ankle rolls. And then hands come to the knees. We'll soften the knees there and we'll take some knee circles. Switch directions with those circles. And then we'll shift down into the ankles. So shifting weight onto the left foot, right lifts forward, ankle circles on this side. Keeping the toes relaxed. Switching directions on those circles. Good. Switching sides. Low belly stays lifting towards spine, shoulders soft, switching directions. Good. Switch back to that first side. We'll take a few Himalayan butt kicks, so pointing the toe, and then bringing the knees to touch, kicking the heel back toward the butt. Good. core stays stable here. Good. Switching sides. Noticing just how much precision you can create in this movement. Good. All right, shake that out. I'll turn to the side just so you can see this a little better. We'll take some hip circles. You can choose to bring the foot down between each rep, or you could connect them, letting the foot stay lifted throughout. Switch directions on those hip circles. Really engaging the core to lift that leg. Good. Switching sides as you're ready. Switch directions on those circles, continuing to pull the toes back toward the face. Stay engaged throughout that lifted leg. Beautiful. Step it to the top of the mat. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale for an open arm twist. Good. Sending that to both sides. Little back bend on that next inhale, exhale. And then finding a forward fold on your next exhale. We'll take a few moments to hang here, top of the head hanging heavy toward the floor. Knees nice and soft. Good. Shifting weight toward toes or toward heels. You could step the feet a bit wider here for ragdoll pose if you choose. Each exhale allowing that spine to lengthen a little bit more easily. Good. Next inhale, find a halfway lift. And then exhale, we'll step it back to our first down dog of this practice. Again, knees finding softness here. Finding any movement if that feels good. Good. We'll take several more breaths here in this down dog before lowering all the way down to the knees and dropping the hips, dropping the chest toward the floor for melting heart pose. So the hips are staying high over the knees. Opening up into the shoulders and chest. If this is a bit much on the shoulders, you can separate the hands a bit or grab hold of opposite elbows. Good. As you're ready, find your way back to tabletop, that low belly lifting. And then walk the hands over toward the right, gaze back at the feet. We find a C-stretch. Big breaths into the left side lung. Good. And then as you're ready, switch sides. Pressing down into the tops of those feet. Good. We'll take it back to the first side. Option to reach one hand back for that back leg. Good. We'll take just a breath there before sending it to the opposite side. Perhaps reaching back. Good. Releasing easily. Curling the toes under. We'll take a few rounds of cat-cow here. Good. Those exhales sliding the shoulder blades apart. The inhales. Imagining we are pulling the hands toward the knees. A few more rounds on your own breath. Forehead relaxed, jaw released. Good. This next inhale, you'll take a full breath in the cow pose. And then switch, taking a full inhale and exhale in the cat pose with the rounded spine. Good. Come back to a neutral tabletop as you're ready. We'll move it into a cross-body balance here. Inhaling to reach one arm, opposite leg. Exhaling to release. Good. A few more rounds on your own breath there. Bringing warmth and strength to the back body, the back core. Good. The next time you extend that right leg, keep it back there. We'll inhale the right fingertips high, finding a kneeling half moon. Option to reach the arm overhead here. And then we'll find some movement, inhaling to reach forward and exhaling to sink the hips, draw the fingertips back, tracing a large circle with the hand. Good. Inhaling to reach forward, exhaling to sink back. That low belly stays engaged, lifting back toward the spine. Good. Next, inhale. Keep those fingertips lifted. Option to lift the extended back leg for a full kneeling half moon. You can keep it right there or opt to reach behind and grab that lifted leg, pressing into the hand, opening the front body. Good. Take an inhale, reach those fingers high. Exhale, bring the hands back to meet the mat, but keep that foot extended out. We'll take a round of cat-cow here with that extended leg. Good. Before switching it to the opposite side, the left leg extends back, left fingertips reach for the ceiling. Option for that arm to reach overhead for a breath. And then find that movement, exhaling to sink the hips, inhaling to reach them forward. Tracing that big circle with the fingertips here. Good. Staying aware of that palm planted into the mat. Good. Next, inhale, fingertips reach. Option to lift that extended leg. Option to reach behind and grab that lifted foot. Shoulder blades strong together for one more breath here before exhaling to release, planting both hands. The top of that lifted foot comes to meet the mat. Good. A couple rounds of cat-cow with that leg extended. Before finding your way back to a tabletop, curling the toes under and then sitting the butt back to the heels. We'll spend just a few breaths opening up the soles of the feet here. If this is a little too intense, you can come forward onto the hands or just take a break. Good. Relaxing the shoulders here, the face. And we can opt to take a few reverse chicken pecks here. So tucking the chin back, making little chins. This posture for strengthening the back of the neck. Good, we'll take a few more here. And then as you're ready, drop down to the forearms. Interlace the fingers out front and lift the hips high. We'll find dolphin pose. Shoulders right next to the ears, low belly lifting toward the ceiling. Good. As you're ready, you can press your way into down dog right from here. That low belly continuing to lift toward the ceiling. A few more moments here, softening the face. And then on an inhale, we'll reach that right leg high. Exhale, pull the knee up to the nose, plant the foot up between the hands. We're in a high lunge here. And we'll find a little toggling movement between this high lunge and then a dropping the knee to a low lunge. So we can inhale to drop the knee, gaze forward, exhale to lift the hips. Inhale to drop. Exhale, press that foot back. We'll find half splits. And we'll toggle those two. Inhaling, shifting forward that low lunge. Exhale, pressing the hips back, half splits. Good. This movement just as slow as your breath. Good. Taking just a few more rounds here before taking a launch. So from the half splits, you'll prepare and then launch forward onto the front leg. Fingertips will shift forward as you lift that back leg. We come to a version of Warrior 3. I'll just move back a little bit here so that you can see that we're creating this nice long line with the body. Good. Spine extended, tail through the crown. Release on an exhale to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the hands, feet step back to plank. We'll lower knees, then chest, then chin. Good. Inhale, press into the hands, seal pose. Exhale, drop it right back down. Good. We'll take a cobra pose here this time, exhaling to drop. Inhale, press it all the way up. Release on the exhale. Good. Inhale, the cobra. Exhale. Good. Press it all the way back to your down dog here. We'll move through that sequence on the opposite side. So on an inhale, lifting the left leg. Exhale, drawing that knee toward the face, rounding the spine to plant that foot up between the hands. Good. We'll find that toggle, inhaling to drop the back knee, gaze forward. Exhale, extend the leg. Taking a few more rounds there on your own breath. Good, and then as you're ready, find that next space, inhaling to the low lunge. Exhaling to the half split, sinking the hips back. Flowing in between these movements, quite effortlessly. And then as you're ready, launching forward onto that front foot, back leg lifts. Pressing through that lifted heel. Imagining you're lifting that leg from the inner thigh. Good. You'll release on an exhale to the fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Plant the hands back to plank. Again, we'll lower all the way down, knees, chest, face. Good, and here we'll just find that cobra pose. Shoulder blades sliding together and back. Option to lift the feet here. We'll pause for just a few moments. Face relaxed. Good, find your way to a tabletop as you're ready. Take the knees wide, toes to touch. And we'll sink the hips back for an extended child's pose. Good. You could keep it in that traditional extended child's pose, or you might take one arm, weave it beneath the opposite for a version of thread the needle. Good. If you've twisted, taking your time to switch sides. And then gently finding your way back to a tabletop, taking any movement that calls there if it feels good, and then shifting back to your down dog. Good, as you arrive, you'll inhale, the right leg will lift. Exhale, draw it forward, plant between the hands. Good, and we're going to find Skandasana here, so pivoting toward your left so that you're facing the long edge of your mat. Left leg will be extended out long, toes reaching for the ceiling. Good, and we'll spend a little bit of time here in this Skandasana. Option to reach the hands forward, drop the hips back to open the Achilles on that bent leg. Or you might take a twist here, reaching the left fingertips high. Good, as you're ready, plant the hands up at the top of the mat and you'll pivot all the way to the opposite long side of the mat. So pivoting toward your right now. I don't know what to call this pose, but I like it a lot. Good, as you're ready, shift back to center, straighten both legs. We'll find pyramid pose. Good. And then pivot toward the back side of your mat here. We'll move into that same movement on that opposite side. So now pivoting toward your right toes extended out long and reaching for the ceiling. We're in Skandasana on this opposite side. Taking your time to just explore what feels good here. Eyebrows smooth, cheeks soft, breath flowing easily. Good, as you're ready, plant the hands up top and pivot all the way to the opposite side. These two sides for me look and feel quite different, just due to some, body imbalance. It's all good. Good, if it feels good, you could start to drop that bent knee toward that extended foot. I found that to feel pretty nice. And then as you're ready to move out of this, make sure that we're lifting that low belly toward the spine, straightening both legs, finding that pyramid pose on the opposite side. Good, as you're ready, pivot back around to the top of the mat, step both feet back to our down dog. Good, on an inhale, we'll draw the left foot forward and take the feet nice and wide. We're coming to a straddle fold here. Toes turn just slightly inward. Top of the head hanging. Good. Nice long exhales here, allowing that spine to release, become long. Good, you can keep it right there in that fold. If you choose, you might move toward a twist, reaching one hand for the opposite leg. Reaching the opposite fingers either high or maybe out in front. Good, switch sides if you've twisted, taking your time. Releasing to that fold on an exhale, toe heeling the feet a bit more narrow till the toes point outward, then taking the elbows or hands to the inner thighs. Just give it a little time opening up the hips and groin here. Good, as you're ready, toe heel the feet even a bit more narrow still, and we'll sink the hips to a yogi squat. If this isn't calling to you today, you could take a seat and take a butterfly pose instead. Good, option to keep it right here in the squat, or you could take a little bind here, reaching the hands forward inside the knees until they face outward, and then wrapping the forearms around the knees. Good, taking your time, but as you're ready, finding your way to a seat. We'll find half hero pose or half saddle pose here. So one leg will stay extended out. We'll grab hold of the opposite foot and bring it up toward the hip so that that knee is laying flat on the ground. Option to sit back. Excuse me. Option to sit back on the forearms or lay all the way down onto the back if you choose. Just taking a couple of nice long exhales here. Before, as you are ready, switching sides gently. And finding a depth that feels good on this second side, whether that's staying upright or leaning back any amount. Allowing the glutes to release here, the hamstrings, the thigh muscles. All those big muscles softening with each exhale. Gently releasing as you're ready. Coming to lie all the way on your back, hugging the knees in toward the chest. Give it a little rock side to side or up and down if that feels good before crossing one knee over the opposite. And then letting that knee or those knees drop to one side. So the crossed knee should be on top. Good. A little supine twist called twisted root. Want to invite both shoulders to rest on the ground here. So I usually have to toss my fist under those knees. Taking your time to switch sides. Shoulders relaxing. Exhale, softening the spine in this twist. Gently releasing as you are ready to there. Excuse me. And then grabbing your blocks, if you have access to them, or a pillow or something like that, we're going to find our way to a pigeon pose. We can stay lifted for a few breaths here. We'll be here for several. Noticing that keeping the chest lifted really creates space in the front of that extended leg. Always the option now to walk down toward the forearms or lying down on the chest. Okay, up to stay lifted. Exhales continuing to soften you from the inside out. And then as you feel ready, you'll switch sides, perhaps opting to take a downward facing dog in between. letting the body have several breaths to settle in on this side as well. Exhales continuing to invite more softness, deeper relaxation. Taking several more breaths on this side. Shoulders continuing to melt from the ears. Back of the neck comfortable. Eyes soft. Taking your time to release. Making your way to a seat here. You'll plant both feet about the width or maybe even a little wider of the mat. And then just dropping the knees in side to side, some windshield wiper twists. Good, that low belly can stay gently engaged, lifting easily. You might take a pause with one knee down if that feels good. And then eventually coming to lie on your back. Woo, big yawns. I want to offer an inversion today of plow into shoulder stand. You could always take legs up the wall instead. But if you end up in plow, make sure you're sliding your shoulder blades together, pressing them down into the floor. Good, creating lots of length in the spine. Making your way into shoulder stand, hands at the low back. Really engaging that core to lift the hips right over the chest. Good. You can release either coming through ear pinning pose where the knees come to meet the sides of the face, or hugging the knees in toward the chest and rolling gently down the spine. Good. Take your time, maybe rocking the knees side to side a little bit before heading into some hip opener here. So option for a happy baby, or grabbing hold of the big toes, pulling them in toward the groin. Good. If you're in that happy baby, that low belly stays pressing down toward the floor. Good. And then as you're ready to release that, we'll come into a Shavasana position. You want the back of your head and your heels on the mat if you can. And we're going to move into a practice called the Chi Reset. So your hands can come on your chest and belly. Stay pressing down through the backs of your heels. And you'll just flex and point your toes. The rest of your body stays relaxed so that you're just gently rocking here. Your head should be nodding up and down. That's how you know it's working. Good. Each exhale continues to relax the body. Taking this ancient practice to shake out any last stale energy. Good. As you're ready, come to stillness now in this position. And just notice, sometimes you can feel some kind of tingliness or buzzing in the body. beginning, well, if there's any other pose or stretch that you wanted to move through, you can take that now, but otherwise we will wind down into this final Shavasana, giving the body time to integrate the work that it just did. Those lengthening exhales becoming very effortless, very easy and natural now. Body continuing to settle more and more subtly as you notice a relaxing, easy sensation come around the top of the head and the forehead, smoothing through the eyes, the cheeks, the nose and jaw, soft between the ears, over the chin and mouth, down through the throat, down the arms, into the hands. And easily you continue watching as that softness fills the chest, the belly, the womb space and hips. The sensation inviting the legs to soften, down through the knees, the shins, ankles through the feet. Resting for just a bit longer in this softness. As you're ready to move forward, starting to draw in a few more lengthening inhales, powerful, filling inhales, brightening inhales. Good. As you're ready, start bringing some of the movement back into the body, the flexing and releasing, maybe an inner smile. And then as you're ready, you'll roll yourself to one side, press yourself up to a seat. Just letting the body adjust as it arrives in the seat, maybe taking a little twist or circling the ribs, softening the shoulders. We'll take one last breath, exhaling all the air from the lungs. Inhaling, filling entirely, chest expanding out in all four directions. And a nice exhale. It has been my honor to flow with you today, my sister. I hope this flow made you feel good. I appreciate you and everything that you do. I honor you and everything that you do. And I love you so much. If you want, we can take 3 magical sighs too. Exhaling all the air. Inhaling through the nose. Do more like that. Yay. I love you, T.